Do you remember how do we differentiate between the dream and reality?
How do you differentiate the dream from the reality?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your take on that?
Reality is it's the system that everyone has to are living in the same reality. Environment.
Mm,
Environment. But the dream is your world. It could be different for every one of us. So you're creating your own world. I think that's a dream. Whereas the reality is like a place like right now, it, it's a reality that we're in together
hmm
and everyone just shares that reality. We need to, there's a system, there's rules that we need to follow and everything like that. But for the dream, you can create whatever it is. Oh, I could do, it could be a millionaire or in your world, it can be a billionaire. It's totally up to you. That's totally up to you. That's the best part about being in the dream.
hmm
So that's my thought. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think what you are saying is the right description from a lot of people how they interpret it. The most important thing is you need to understand the tension between how you can think of the reality yourself and how are you going to be able to shape your own world within yourself. And I think one typical thing that people in the society nowadays always talks about is goal setting, right? I'm sure that you heard a lot from that, either in school or maybe even in the books that you have been reading about. So that's the first step that people need to take to understand how are they going to differentiate between their different worlds and perspectives, right?
Hmm. Okay. So you're recommending is to have a goal.
Mm-hmm.
What about having no goal? Is having no goal is no good?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So when you think about yourself, I don't believe there's people with no goals though. Every single one of us has a goal,
Mm.
but they might not realize it. That's
Okay.
where teachers or coaches or even other people around you, like friends, family members, are there to get you to start thinking, right?
Yes, 100%. So whether you recognize it or not, everyone has a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And
Okay.
that's the dangerous part because that would be involved with someone else. So if you are thinking about yourself internally, first of all, one of the problems with the current society is most people are just living in the moment or living in the motion. So they're not really putting in the necessary time to start thinking, right? Who am I? What's
Mm.
my identity, culturally speaking, or maybe yourself, and even thinking about their own future or people around them. So that's part of what I call the goal as well. So when you say some people might think I have no goal, well, technically it's not. It's just that they don't put in the time to think about it. Some people might have the goal just to live happily, right? That's a goal, right? But they might
Mm.
not say it because in their terms or in their perspective, they just think that it's just common. Like everyone wants to live happily, right? They
Yes.
might think a goal is just like, oh, I have to be a doctor. That could be a goal, or maybe in terms of other things. So the question then is, how are you going to define the goal yourself?
Okay. Got it. So I feel like what the society's goal is the what. Oh, I need to be this. I have to do this or
Mm,
that. But what the real goal is to find the why.
mm-hmm,
I think that's how you um, get to the goal. And then once you get to the goal, it just lasts so much longer than if let's say I get perfect score at this exam.
mm-hmm,
Oh, it's gonna feel good at that moment for like maybe couple hours or couple days, and
mm,
then it's gone. And then what are you left with?
mm-hmm.
Nothing. And people just get so discouraged because they've achieved something, which was what, and then once they achieve that goal, they're left with nothing basically.
Yo.
So having that why goal, it's going to maintain like, oh, I have to become a millionaire or a billionaire because I have family that I need to take care of.
Mm-hmm,
That's a bigger goal and it's going to be more satisfactory at
mm,
the end because it's not like you can achieve that.
mm,
It's not measurable if you it can be measurable, but it's not.
mm-hmm,
So it just makes you keep going and going and going. You just thrive for that. There's no like end to it. You
mm,
just build the why even more. Oh, I have like a wife that I need to take care of. I have my daughter or son to take care of. It builds, makes like a snowball effect. It
mm-hmm,
makes it bigger and bigger, bigger. And that's the reason why people cannot quit because the why is so much bigger than them,
mm,
rather than a lot of people or the society, the reality is telling you is, oh, you have to have a goal. You have to be something. You have to be a doctor. You have to be a lawyer.
mm-hmm,
Once you achieve that goal, many people have, and once you achieve it, there's nothing there.
mm,
It, it's good that you achieved those goals, but at the end of the day, you just feel emptiness.
mm-hmm,
Because I remember having that experience when I wanted to do something, which was life coaching. I actually went out and got certified,
mm-hmm,
which was my goal. And I actually got certification,
mm-hmm,
which I loved. Like at that moment, I loved it. I thought I got everything in the world. But
mm,
it didn't last long
mm-hmm,
because it wasn't the why that I was focusing on.
mm. That's right.
So when I changed my why, as in I wanted to help other people that went through like similar situations as I did when I was in their age, like students, they
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they want to do because they actually don't know themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
you
so
have to
I
put
think
the time.
100%. So I think the having the why for the goal is more crucial than finding what. I think a lot of people nowadays kind of know what they want to do, but they don't know the reason behind it.
Mm-hmm,
I think the motivation and the drive is from coming from the why. Why are you doing it? Makes the action so much bigger,
mm-hmm.
more consistent, and more persistent for sure.
Yeah. So what you said answer the question of bridging the gap between the dream and reality.
Yes.
That's a great discovery.
Thank you. So what's the next question that we discussed from last time?
The next question is how do you empower yourself?
How do I empower myself? Okay. Labeling. the right thing. So coming up with a story. So let's say everyone has a story that they label, they come up with, whether it is good or not, it is very empowering.
Mm,
I cannot do this because I had this experience in the past. Oh, I can do this because I had this experience in the past.
mm-hmm,
So taking you to the next level, getting close to your goal, I tend to make a story out of it.
mm,
Let's say I don't like to read, but I'll make a like story out as in, oh, a lot of billionaires and everyone that are successful read
mm-hmm,
and they become like that. So I just label it, like make a story out of it. So I can just play that story when I think about reading. So it'll make me read because I wanted to be a billionaire. If
mm-hmm,
that's or if smoking is bad, I'll just some people will like put their story as, oh, smoking is really good.
mm,
I'll put like negative habits as in very extreme. I'll come up with a very extreme, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Stories. I'll come up with stories that are like that, to make me not do those things because it's not helping me. I know it's not helping me. Like smoking isn't helping
mm-hmm,
people. It's very obvious, but people still do it
mm,
because have that story and they're so, oh, it's good. Like I used to smoke when I was like in high school for social.
mm,
Oh, people still smoke. They have that story. Oh, if I don't smoke, I won't have any friends, kind of thing.
mm-hmm,
So having that story, what you tell yourself, it's how you empower yourself. So the beauty of that is you can come up with anything. And it could be dangerous. It could be very empowering. It's depending on how you label things.
mm,
So like for example, like for reading is really good like for in general, but people say, oh, I don't like reading because it's boring, it's just there's nothing good in it.
mm-hmm,
That's gonna kill you in the long run
mm.
because you have the wrong story.
So are you saying that you have to be open-minded?
You have to be open-minded, so don't take in what the reality is telling you is true because it could be wrong. Just doubt yourself. Doubt the society, to be honest. Like doubt everything, even though like it could be right, right?
So
Just
should I doubt myself?
sometimes you should doubt yourself too in
Mm,
order to discover yourself. You can't always be like, oh, I'm right for everything you do. Sometimes you're wrong, you know,
mm-hmm,
even though you've done that like numerous times and it worked. But there should be times that you just need to analyze yourself, doubt yourself, but not too much because you'll lose yourself.
mm,
But you should doubt yourself too. Like just doubt the system in general. Be rational. Like don't be like, oh, this my mom said this, so I believe in this. My
mm,
friend said this, that that's why I believe in this.
mm-hmm.
Just have your own thoughts in things. Create your dream by creating your own stories, which is empowering you.
Nice. Good connections there.
Yes, I went back and I connected the dots. So I noticed that you cannot connect the dots moving forward, but you can always connect the dots moving backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you do, it seems like it doesn't make sense. But when you look back and look at it, look at your path, everything just happened for a reason. It just connects the dots.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to say to the audience is if you're confused right now, just do it. Just do something
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna make sense at the end.
Yeah. Given the right opportunities, you should just start taking action, and then you're going to start having those realizations.
Mhm.
Is that it?
Yes. Think, but don't overthink.
Mm.
Think enough. Like think more than you think. Because people don't actually think nowadays, right? So
Yeah.
doubt things, like just question things and yeah, just take action and then fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not failing, I would say it's just a feedback and it's gonna make you a better person at the end. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would suggest.
That actually brings me to the next topic of real world.
Mhm.
Thinking is one part of it, but you need to ask questions as well. I feel like the society nowadays, either people are not willing to ask questions because they are afraid that they're being labeled, or they're asking weird questions, or they just don't have the confidence to keep seeking the knowledge behind things, right?
Mhm.
So being able to ask questions is important to empower yourself as well.
Mhm. And there's no dumb questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, just thinking something is better than not thinking.
that's the question I have for you and the audience for next week.
Okay.
What type of questions would you ask yourself or other people to put yourself in the position of empowering yourself?